This video brought to you in part by Tommy and the Order of Cosmic Champions. This exciting and heartwarming coming-of-age Gen X novel is available now. Check the link for more info. It is no secret that I love reminiscing about the heyday of the video game arcades that I enjoyed growing up as a Generation Xer, which has parlayed recently into my love of collecting those little tabletop and handheld arcade machine toys. Well, that kind of fizzled a bit when things dried up during the pandemic, but things are starting to look up, and I've recently looked up some new items from my arcade that they released, and there's more in the offing. And so as I put out more of this and my kind of like love of collecting starts to percolate more and I post more videos, more of our viewers are hopping in those videos and leaving requests of things they would like for me to review. And surprisingly, they're looking at things that are maybe out several years ago, but I never got around to looking to, and I appreciate the invitation that you want me to look at those things. I'm very flattered by that. And in fact, a longtime subscriber, like 2 years or so he's been subscribed, a viewer even longer, Tetris Boy 9, dropped me a line in more than one video saying, "John, why won't you review the Super Impulse Tiny Arcade of Tetris? You reviewed the Basic Fun, what do you got against this one?" Tetris Boy 9, I got nothing against this one. I picked this one up back in 2019 when it was brand new, and I just never got around to it. You're right, I did do the Basic Fun, I looked at that, and the fact that that one did so well makes me even more intrigued by what is in this one. Is there something magical about Tetris, that they just all get good translations, or was that just a lucky break and this is going to be junk? I don't know, but I think this is the perfect time to head to the table and find out. Here then is our little tiny arcade Tetris with Super Impulse. We don't have to spend a lot of time looking at the box, of course. It's like all the others that came out in that era. It's this clear plastic box, and you can kind of touch inside if you want to preview it. The batteries are actually dead in this one, so I got to put new batteries in it. But yeah, it's I think it was from Amazon or something. It had a big label across the back. I'd never opened it before, but let's get it open and check it out. Inside, of course, we have our little Tetris cabinet, and we have this woefully outdated catalog and some instructions, both of which are going to take flight. Yoing! Gone. Let's focus then on the little cabinet. Starting around back, one of the first things I do is remove that little keychain that's attached, because I'm never going to use this as a keychain. That's also where the battery door is, and then we have a little power on-off switch right down here. It's currently off. The same side art on both sides. Look, it's the little Tetris poster, and admittedly, the Tetris side art of the real cabinet was not that glorious, so I think that's accurate enough, I suppose. On the bottom, we have that single down firing speaker for mono audio. Around front, we have that marquee, which, as you'll remember, is a lighted marquee. When the power comes on, that thing lights up. Always love that feature about these tiny arcades. Below that, we have the little square screen. Of course, down on the bottom, you have that knee board that simulates the coin door, or at least the coin return, I suppose. And then, of course, we have these standard tiny arcade controls, a little nub of a joystick, and a little A, B button. Look, they're nothing to write home about, but they're serviceable. They typically get the job done. I think that's what we need to know about the outside. Let's throw some batteries in it, power it up, and give it a test drive. All right, there's that lighted marquee, Tetris, 1985 and 2019 copyright. Oh, look, a little menu. All right, let's see, what do we got here? Play, high score, so high score table, I'm guessing, yeah. So, high score saved in some form or fashion. Okay, option screen, sound volume. So, 0, half, and full are your choices. Music, on or off, just by tapping. Sound effects, on or off. And whether or not you use the hard drop, in case you don't want to use that. Okay. All right, well, let's play some Tetris then. See how it does. Music. Oh, there it is. Okay. Rotate left, rotate right. Yeah. Yeah, and then I can, I guess I can pull down. And since I left the hard drop on, I assume I can hard drop, right? Yeah, okay. I mean, it's Tetris. Now, gauging exactly where you are vertically can be a little tricky on this tiny screen because there's no grid lines or anything, but I mean, it's not bad. Oh, I double tapped it. Maybe that's why some people don't want to have that on. It's pretty straightforward Tetris, and it's not a direct port of anything I recognize, but, like I said about that Basic Fun Tetris all that time ago, Tetris is so diluted that there's not, I don't feel like there's a de facto version of Tetris. Maybe a huge Tetris fan would disagree with me, which is fine, but I don't mind that it's a rewrite, because it's a good rewrite with all sorts of little options and stuff. Yeah, okay. There's a hero piece. There's a triple at least. All right, that's something. Well, I should be able to level up, I would say. I see I'm on level 1 right now. If I do well enough, I should get... There's a double. I'm having a good time playing Tetris, which is not something I can always say. Oh, what a mess I've made over here. There's a hero piece. That'll give you a couple at least. There's a level up. There we go. Just in time, as I've made a horrible mess of this board. I'm only using the left rotate. That's how I always play Tetris. I mean, they both work. Left and right both work. I've always been a person that just picked one and stuck with it. Yeah, I'm up to level 3. All right, I get it. It's Tetris. It works well. I'm going to go ahead and end this game and try the high score deal. Good job, game over. All right, so now here's what I have learned in the past. And I tested this ahead of time to make sure if I turn the power off, I will lose my high score. But many people have written to me saying, dummy, John, if you'll just leave it on and let these little tiny arcades do their automatic power off, the high scores will be preserved, which effectively means it goes into a sleep mode and the high scores will preserve. So I assume that's going to work. So let's test that first, and then we will test the power off and verify that it doesn't survive that. So I'm just going to let the camera roll for a minute. I'll fast forward to when it powers off itself, and we will verify that it comes back on with the high scores. All right, it's turned itself off. Now you don't want to touch the power button. You just want to tap a button on the deck. All right, so it seems to come back on. So let's see if in fact we still get high scores this way. We do. Okay. So if you don't turn it off and you remember to not touch that, it looks like you have high scores. I'm going to verify turning it off and back on. They're actually lost. So I'm going to guess that is true. High scores. Okay. So you kind of have high score support. You basically got to put a piece of tape over that power button if you want to preserve high scores. Otherwise, you're going to forget and try to turn it on there. At least I would. So kind of high score preservation if you remember to leave the batteries in and never turn it off. Okay, fair enough. Before I give you my summary and rating, let me just point out that if you like what you saw in this Tetris, I'll definitely put a link down in the description of this video where you can go straight via one of our affiliate links to Amazon and pick one up for yourself right now. And while you're shopping, look, it's the holiday season. If you have not yet purchased everything for every geek or nerd on your list, or yourself, if you want to get yourself something, please stop by and visit our merch store. It's at GenXGrownUp.com/merch. And we're not just talking about GenXGrownUp logo stuff. Anything that you enjoy. It could be computer stuff or game stuff or movie stuff or TV show stuff. Everything available over at the store. Just head over via the link here or in the description of this video. Do your holiday shopping. If you're purchased right now when this video comes out, there's still time to ship for Christmas. If you're watching this later, there's no rush. You can order anytime. Okay, so what do you think about this little Super Impulse Tetris? I don't know what it is about Tetris in general, but for some reason, they get good translations. And keep in mind, this is a rewrite, right? This is not the arcade ROM of Tetris, nor was the basic fun before it that we talked about, and actually made my list of the top 10 little arcade machine toys. I'll throw a link to that up in the corner in case you didn't catch that. But that basic fun, it did really well. And look, this one also is going to do really well. Spoiler alert. The fact is, it provides more than you would expect out of these things. You have a menu screen, you have that high score table that you can get to, kind of high score preservation. But the bottom line is the game in it, the rewrite of Tetris, is just good. Look, I've admitted many times I am not a huge Tetris fanatic. I like Tetris. I respect and appreciate Tetris and its position in, the pantheon of video games. Oh, this one just timed out. I just lost. The pantheon of video games. I know that Tetris is amazing, and I've played more than my fair share of it, but it's not like one of my favorites. I'm not getting a Tetris t-shirt anytime soon or anything. But what they've done here for this Tetris, I mean, you could talk about all the downsides. It's not the OG ROM. It's not fantastic controls, but you have that backlit marquee. You got a good version of the game. It controls well enough for Tetris. You don't need fine control for Tetris. You just need left, right, drop, up, down, and that's all here. I did it. The only problem I had the entire review was periodically doing the double tap up for the fast drop. They know that's a possibility. They allowed you to turn off that fast drop right in the menu. So I guess I'm running out of ways to complain about this. It's just a pretty darn good Super Impulse Tiny Arcade version of this beloved arcade game. So what am I going to say for a rating? I feel pretty generous. I'm pretty happy with what they provided. And keep in mind, I'm not a Tetris nut. I'm going to give this 4 full tokens out of 5. If you enjoy Tetris, this is probably one you're going to want. In fact, if you enjoy Tetris, this is one you need because it's a really great way to play on the go. Or if you're like me and you just were buying these impulsively back in the day and you never got around to playing with this one, yeah, take it out of the drawer, put some new batteries in it, they're bound to be dead, and fire up and enjoy playing some Tetris. If you want to see more reviews I've done of these tiny arcades from Super Impulse, look, I'll put one here and here that you can click on right now. Plenty more to view in our back catalog. I really hope you found something to enjoy though in this video, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.